Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever felt like your home is slowly but surely taking over? Does the thought of opening that one particular cupboard fill you with dread and a vague sense of guilt? Perhaps you trip over things you haven't seen in years, items long forgotten hiding in plain sight. Maybe you feel like you're constantly searching for things you just bought, only to find you already own 3 of them. This feeling of overwhelm, this physical clutter, it does more than just occupy space in our homes. It starts to occupy space in our minds too, weighing us down in ways we might not even consciously realize. This physical chaos translates directly into mental noise, a constant hum of low-grade stress in the background. Every overflowing box, every jumbled drawer, each adds another tiny weight to your shoulders. You might feel less focused, more easily irritated, or simply drained of energy. It's like trying to think clearly in a room where everyone is talking at once, a cacophony of possessions demanding your attention. This constant visual reminder of undone tasks or past purchases can breed anxiety and a feeling of being stuck. Our physical environment truly impacts our internal state, profoundly affecting our peace of mind day in and day out. For a long time, my own home felt like a monument to procrastination and past enthusiasms. There were relics from hobbies I abandoned years ago, clothes that hadn't fit since the children were small, and gadgets whose original purpose remained a delightful mystery. Opening certain closets required a safety strategy, bracing myself for a potential avalanche of forgotten items. I'd often stand in the middle of a room and just feel completely paralyzed, not knowing where to even begin tackling the mess. It wasn't just untidy, it felt like the physical manifestation of mental stagnation, holding me back from feeling truly free and comfortable in my own space. Then came my personal aha moment, triggered by something completely ridiculous yet utterly illuminating. I was searching frantically for my reading glasses, tearing the house apart, convinced I'd just seen them moments before. After a 20-minute frantic hunt, involving emptying several drawers onto the floor, I finally found them perched right on top of my head. It was such a simple, silly thing, but the sheer frustration and wasted time made me stop dead in my tracks. I realized my clutter wasn't just an inconvenience, it was actively stealing my time, energy, and sanity. That small, laughable incident became the unlikely catalyst for a much bigger change in my life, sparking a determination to reclaim my space and my mind. Starting didn't involve renting a huge dumpster or declaring war on every single item in the house simultaneously. Oh no, that thought alone was enough to send me running for the hills. Instead, I decided to pick one small area, a single kitchen drawer that was a notorious graveyard for orphaned chopsticks and unidentifiable plastic bits. I promised myself I would spend just 15 minutes, a commitment so small it felt almost laughable. This tiny first step felt manageable, not overwhelming in the slightest. It proved that even the most daunting task can be broken down into achievable, bite-sized actions, making the whole process feel less like climbing Mount Everest and more like strolling up a gentle hill. The process itself involved pulling everything out, looking at each item, and making a decision: keep, donate, or trash. This seemingly simple act forced me to confront my relationship with my possessions directly. There were internal debates about things I might use someday, spoiler, I probably wouldn't, items with questionable sentimental value, and things I simply forgot I even owned. It required being honest with myself about what truly served a purpose or brought joy, and what was simply taking up valuable real estate. Learning to make these choices, even for small, insignificant objects, felt surprisingly empowering, a tiny muscle of decisiveness being exercised with each item I handled. After those first 15 minutes, standing there looking at a tidy, functional drawer, a wave of quiet satisfaction washed over me. It wasn't just about the neatness, it was the immediate feeling of lightness and accomplishment. My mind felt clearer just by looking at the organized space, less visual chaos meant less mental static. That small pocket of order felt like a breath of fresh air in the midst of the surrounding clutter, a beacon of hope. It was a tangible demonstration that even a tiny effort could yield a noticeable and immediate positive result, providing the motivation I needed to tackle the next small area. This initial small win wasn't a fluke, I discovered it was the beginning of a profound shift in my mental landscape. As I continued to clear more physical space, I noticed a significant reduction in my overall stress levels. Decision-making felt easier, my focus improved, and I no longer felt constantly behind the 8 ball. It was as if removing the physical weight also removed a psychological one, freeing up mental energy for more important things. The simple act of knowing where everything was brought a sense of calm and control I hadn't realized I was missing. And then, a rather surprising benefit started to reveal itself, a positive impact on my wallet. As I decluttered, I began rediscovering things I had completely forgotten about. I found a perfectly good and used set of measuring spoons buried under a pile of miscellaneous kitchen gadgets, realizing I didn't need to buy that new set I'd been eyeing. In one particularly deep dive into a utility closet, I even found a forgotten gift card with a decent balance still on it. It felt like finding buried treasure. These discoveries made me much more conscious of what I already owned and how much I might have been needlessly repurchasing. This new awareness directly impacted my spending habits, making me a much more mindful consumer. Knowing exactly what I have makes me think twice before buying something similar or something I don't genuinely need. It's prevented countless impulse purchases simply because I now have a clear picture of my possessions. Selling or donating items I no longer need has also brought in a little extra cash, or at least the satisfaction of knowing things are being used by someone else. Decluttering isn't just about getting rid of stuff, it's a powerful exercise in appreciating what you have and being more intentional about what you bring into your life and home. Of course, it wasn't all smooth sailing. There were definitely emotional hurdles, especially when dealing with sentimental items. Finding my children's old school projects or tiny worn-out shoes could bring on a wave of nostalgia, making it hard to let go. I learned that it's okay to keep a few treasured items, perhaps creating a dedicated memory box rather than letting them take over an entire closet. The goal isn't to erase memories, but to curate them consciously, keeping the feeling without keeping all the physical bulk. It's about honoring the past while making space for the present and the future. For us, perhaps in this stage of life with children grown or growing independent, decluttering takes on a special significance. It's about preparing for potential changes, whether that's downsizing, retirement, or simply having more time for ourselves. Clearing out years of accumulation makes any future transition feel less overwhelming and more exciting. It's about creating a home that serves us now, reflecting who we are and how we want to live in this phase of life. It's about reclaiming space not just for physical objects, but for new possibilities, hobbies, or simply quiet relaxation. Oh, the things you find. I swear I unearthed items I'm convinced were planted by mischievous house gnomes over the decades: a single roller skate, a collection of hotel soaps from a trip in the 90s, and a remote control that belonged to a TV we got rid of during the Bush administration. My husband once found a library book that was 15 years overdue, leading to a rather awkward but humorous conversation at the circulation desk. These little discoveries, sometimes baffling, sometimes funny, add a touch of levity to the process, reminding you not to take it all too seriously. They are little archaeological digs into the history of your own home and family life, often prompting a chuckle or a shared memory. The beauty of decluttering is that it creates this incredible positive feedback loop. The more you do, the more motivated you become. Clearing one space makes you eager to tackle the next, the feeling of lightness becoming addictive. It's a journey, not a destination, and maintaining an organized space becomes easier once the initial major clear-out is done. This newfound order spills over into other areas of life: better time management, clearer goals, and a general sense of being more in control. It truly has a ripple effect that enhances your entire well-being, proving that the benefits extend far beyond just a tidy house. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed by the stuff in your home and the corresponding weight on your mind and maybe even your wallet, please know you're not alone, and there is a way forward. Start small, just one drawer, one shelf, 15 minutes is all it takes to begin. Embrace the process, allow yourself to laugh at the silly things you find, and be gentle with the sentimental items. Reclaiming your space is a powerful act of self-care, freeing up not just physical room but also valuable mental and financial resources. It's about creating a home that supports you, a mind that feels lighter, and a life with more clarity and less clutter.